Hello, welcome to Discovery Lab Online. My name is Amber Shive and I teach at the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History. Today we're going to be doing a STEM project where we create our own silverware out of supplies that we can find around the house. When we're thinking about silverware, I want you to think back to the very first ever type of eating utensil. Do you have that idea in your head? Well, if you said hands, you're exactly right. One of the very first ways that people were able to get food into their mouths is they were using their hands. Now, that eating utensil has transformed quite a bit over the course of history. One of the first advancements in eating utensils was when someone came up with the idea to use shells or animal horns to get more food into their mouths. In our collections here at the Fort Worth Museum of Science and History, we have eating utensils that span back all the way to the 1800s. As you can see in this first picture from the early 1800s, the spoons look very similar to something we'd have on our table today. However, the two-pronged fork looks very different. With the two-pronged design, it was hard to use it to actually get food into your mouth, so it was actually used more as a cooking utensil than it was an eating utensil. In the mid-1800s, you can notice that the spoon design has actually changed with a much larger handle, or longer handle, because if you think about it, the majority of these meals were cooked over an open flame, and you would want your hand to be much further away from that flame with a longer handle. It wasn't until the late 1800s that the fork got the third prong, which looks very similar to our four-prong design today. So as you can see from these examples from the collection, silverware has definitely had a lot of different looks over the years. Whenever you're using the engineer design process, the first step is to ask yourself, what are you trying to create? And in this case, we're trying to create an eating utensil out of a sheet of foil that we can eat our very favorite food with. The constraints are you can only use one sheet of foil, and the criteria is you have to be able to eat with it. For my project, I'm thinking about my very favorite thing to eat, which is ice cream. And so I'm going to make an eating utensil out of foil that I can eat some ice cream with. And so I think I'm going to transform my piece of foil into a spoon that I can use to eat my ice cream with. So I want you to think about your favorite food, and then I want you to come up with a design that you can use before you start creating with your foil. So ask, imagine, make a plan, and then you're going to start creating. Now that you've gone through the design process, it's time to test out your creation and see if you need any improvements. I'm going to test out my foil eating utensil with a bowl of ice cream. If you want to see more family-friendly STEM videos, be sure to like our video below and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love to see your foil creations down below in the comments. Thanks so much for joining us at Discovery Lab Online.